Hey guys, welcome back to OverTakes. This is Misfit, and I am here with our pick show for Week 8 in the Overwatch League, and we are going to do a quick one. We're just going to run down, since there's 16 games, we're going to run down our favorite bets. I'm going to be doing this one solo, so we're going to just hit on the matches that we're highlighting, and then we'll just give an overall who we're picking for all the matches at the end of the show. If you want to see them, I didn't have time to do all of the visual work for this one as far as graphics and things like that are concerned on the video, but we will have them on our social media pages, which are all in links down below. Once again, thanks to everyone who is joining us in YouTube land. All of your views, likes, and all that kind of thing are appreciated. If you are new, please hit a like and a subscribe. Every Friday we do a pick show where we go over our top bets for the week, pick most of the games. I mean, we pick all of the games, but we go over some of our favorite things, especially with the amount of matches we have. We have 16 this week. We have 22 next week. So we're just going to hit our top bets for each day. So let's start diving into this. We are going to start off with the first match of the weekend, which is going to be at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is going to be the Guangzhou Charge taking on the Shanghai Dragons. Shanghai is favored minus 217. Guangzhou is a plus 161 in this one. This is kind of a unanimous one for me and Kel. We both don't have any kind of read on Shanghai or Guangzhou for that matter, but Shanghai we're a little less high on. We think Guangzhou is going to be a little bit better of a team, and we both think this is a great play at plus 161. We're both taking the Guangzhou Charge. Okay, so we are going to hit one of the big matches, probably the biggest match is Saturday. I mean, we've seen these teams quite a bit in the last few weeks, and the other ones are a little bit more up in the air, but we kind of know how these teams are. In the New York Excelsior and the Atlanta Reign, New York is a minus 233, and the Atlanta Reign are a plus 170. So in this one, we're kind of split on this one. I think New York is a better team by a little bit. They had a little rough patch there, but in the beginning of the season, they kind of look iffy. I think this is a little bit of a break. They've kind of refocused and gotten themselves back to where they were. I think Atlanta looked so-so. I mean, they look good. They look better than most teams in the league. The couple of games were not their best. I'm taking New York in this one. Just on the sole fact that I think they're just a tick better at minus 233. It's not a bad bet either for a favorite, especially, if you are a New York fan and you you want to bet on New York. This is a really, really good line for them. Atlanta is, plus 170. Kel's going to be taking them. I think it's more of I think he just thinks they're better overall than New York right now, at least in this matchup and with the hero pools and all that kind of stuff that are going on in this one. I'm leaning towards New York. Kel has the Atlanta Reign at plus 170. I have New York at minus 233. Okay, let's move on to the next match, which is going to be the final one we're going to be picking for the Saturday matches. It is going to be the Florida Mayhem taking on the Washington Justice. So in this one, the Mayhem come in looking a lot better than they did. They beat Toronto. Washington's kind of iffy right now. I think from a Mayhem fan perspective, I think the Mayhem are slightly better than Washington all around. I think Washington has points where they're better. They have Corey, who's always really good, but I think across the board, and I'm also going to go with Arc and Aimgod are a little bit better right now than, maybe just Arc over Chris. I think Gangnam Jin has a slight advantage over Aimgod in the main support role. Overall, we're both going to go with Florida here. Oh, I forgot to give the odds. Washington is minus 127. Florida's plus 104. We're both taking the underdog in Florida in this one at plus 104. Washington's shaky. We don't really have a good read on either. Well, we have a good read on these teams. It's just they're kind of up and down. It's a really tough game to pick if you think about how these teams play. And this one could be a clown fiesta, but that would be earlier in the day between, honestly, the Toronto Defiant and the Boston Uprising would be, probably the clown fiesta of the weekend, or El Clasico for all of you guys out there. But that is going to do it for the Saturday picks. So let's move into Sunday. So Sunday, we have the Shanghai Dragons taking on the Chengdu Hunters. Shanghai minus 263 and Chengdu plus 189 in this one. This one we both have a different read on this one. Kel is going to take the Chengdu Hunters. I like Shanghai in this one. I know I'm not very high on Shanghai, but I can't pick Chengdu with any sense of security. In that, when we talked about it on our preview episode, they're so up and down and so weird. They're like they're the most wild card team in the league. It's not a bad bet though at plus 189. I will say that, but the Dragons to me in this one are the pick. I think they're the better team overall. Just on their DPS line alone, I think they could win this game out, especially if Chengdu starts doing their weird stuff with ball and all that kind of stuff. They have the tools and the players to counter that really hard, and I think that's what's going to happen in this one. I am taking the Shanghai Dragons at minus 263. Kel has the Chengdu Hunters at plus 189. So the next match we are going to talk about is going to be at least one that we agree on, and we'll get to our picks of the week and that kind of thing before we get out of this one. So the next one we're going to talk about is the last match of the weekend. It's going to be the LA Gladiators minus 147 and the Seoul Dynasty versus the Seoul Dynasty plus 111. This one's screaming Seoul at me. I think Seoul's a better team. Granted, we've seen more of the Gladiators, but I think as far as the key components right now, the Seoul has the edge over the Gladiators. Main tank is better for Seoul. I like the fact that they have Prophet, but the one thing you can't count out with the Gladiators is Big Goose Shaz in space. And then if Birdring plays up to his potential, like he did, the first go around way back in week 1, I believe it was, he looked pretty good. If he stays on that track, they're looking pretty good. But I'm going to go with Seoul, mostly on the legs of Prophet and Gesture in there. And also I like Marvel and Michelle too. I mean, there's going to be some swapping around going on there. Their support line is not my favorite, but that's okay. We're going to roll with that. It is what it is. It's not going to be, it's not the caliber of the Gladiators, but I think that Seoul, just on the sheer star power that they have right now, is a little bit better than the Gladiators in the key spots. And then you add Prophet in there. To me, you have a win. Plus 111. I think that's a fantastic bet. Okay, so there wasn't really much going on Sunday as far as, what we liked. I have one more match that I'm going to play here. This is going to be early morning on Sunday. It's the Guangzhou Charge taking on Guangzhou is plus 103, taking on the Hangzhou Spark at minus 137. Now, we talked a lot about both of these teams on our preview episode. This is a big game. This is going to show, who and where these teams are. I think it's going to be a good thumbnail of where they're going to go in the season. They both had weirder games earlier in the week, with, Chengdu playing the Spark and, the Shanghai Dragons taking on the Charge on Saturday. The Shanghai match is I think it's a little bit closer of a match with Guangzhou, but we talked about that one. Then Hangzhou and Chengdu are going to be. I'm not high on Chengdu at all, but that's my normal. It doesn't mean I don't like to watch them, but to this game, I'm going to go with, and this is my Crunch Time Grooves pick of the week. I'm going with the Guangzhou Charge at plus 103 over the Hangzhou Spark at minus 137. Hangzhou has not, granted, this is Sunday, so we could have seen something from them that's a little different, but I'm taking it with a grain of salt, whatever they do on Saturday, because they are playing Chengdu. It could go good or bad. It just depends on the madness of Chengdu. Okay, so I think Guangzhou's better. I just, top to bottom, I think they're a better team. I think they have a little bit more than Hangzhou does. I don't know where they're going to finish in the standings or anything like that. I'm not predicting anything, but I do think that they could be a team that you're looking at in the regular playoffs and not having to do the play-in. I think they're that good. Hangzhou, I think, is a play-in team at best. I think they're a little overrated by a lot of people. They do have some good players and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to count that out. But in this one, I'm going with Guangzhou. They're just, to me, they're hands down the better team. We are going to talk about Kel's Dunkaroos 90s Kid slam dunk pick of the week is going to be the New York Excelsior minus 1250 over the Boston Uprising. He's taking the safe route here, and he's going to go with the New York Excelsior, who should win this 3-0 in about 10 minutes. This is for me, this is not a great bet, but it's pretty much it's a lock. It is a slam dunk pick for sure. I mean, there's no way that Boston, who is just a shit show, there's no way they're going to do anything. I will be surprised if they take a map. And I'm assuming Kel feels the same way, but New York minus 1250 is Kel's Dunkaroos 90s Kid Slam Dunk Pick of the Week. Boom shakalaka! I threw that in at the end. The NBA Jam style. Anyway, all right, guys. So let's go over this. All right, we're gonna rifle through these really quick. Here's all of our picks. I'm gonna do this real quick. All right, first game, we both have Guangzhou Charge over the Shanghai Dragons. Next match, we both have Hangzhou Spark over the Chengdu Hunters. The next match, we have Toronto versus Boston. Both of us have Toronto. Following that match, we have potential Clown Fiesta 2 for the day, which is going to be Paris Eternal and the London Spitfire. We both have Paris in this one. Next match up, we have the New York Excelsior versus the Atlanta Reign. We talked about that earlier. Kel's got Atlanta. I have New York. Next match after that, we have Florida Mayhem versus the Washington Justice. We both have Florida. Following that one, we have the Shock versus the Gladiators. Both of us are taking the Shock. And the final match of Saturday, we both have the Seoul Dynasty beating out the Dallas Fuel. Now, on to Sunday. First match of Sunday, we both have the... Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We are split on this one. Kel has Chengdu, and I have the Shanghai Dragons in the first match of Sunday. Next match, Hangzhou Spark versus the Guangzhou Charge. We both have the Guangzhou Charge. Next up, we have what is considered a match, but probably not going to be one. New York Excelsior versus the Boston Uprising. We both have New York. Match after that, we have the Toronto Defiant taking on the London Spitfire in another potential Clown Fiesta. All of them involving Toronto, unfortunately, right now. I'm going to go with Toronto in this one. Kel has London. Following match, Atlanta Reign taking on the Florida Mayhem. Kel has Atlanta. I can't go against Florida, so I'm going to take them in this one. I'm going on a reach here. I just got a feeling. Being a fan, but you know, we're going to take that. Next matchup for Sunday, we have the San Francisco Shock taking on the LA Valiant. Both of us are taking the San Francisco Shock. Next match up on the slate, we have the Vancouver Titans taking on Dallas Fuel. Both of us are taking Vancouver. Now, final match of the weekend, we have the Seoul Dynasty taking on the Los Angeles Gladiators, and both of us are going to be on the Seoul Dynasty in this one. All right, so that was your rocket through the schedule, all 16 games and who we're picking. They're up there on the screen. We'll have those up on social media. And that is going to do it for this one, guys. We just want to do a quick pick show like we do every week. It's a little bit faster because we didn't have as much discussion because I'm doing it alone, but things happen with the things that are going on right now, so I'm running a solo. But that being said, that's going to do it. Thank you guys for joining us, everybody on YouTube. Thank you very much for all the likes, all the subscribes, all of your conversations that we've been having. They're great. Keep it up. And don't forget, if you're new, hit a like and a subscribe. And hit the alert bell, tell you when we're coming on. Don't forget, Sunday night, we will be on. We will be on probably in the middle of the Shock and Valiant match going into the Titans Dallas match. We'll be on there. We'll try and keep you updated as we can because we're obviously going to have the matches on while we're talking about them. Yeah, we're going to miss a couple of matches to talk about, especially the big one at the end. But you know what? We'll talk about that on our preview show. Just at the beginning of it, we'll just recap what we missed. We'll talk about that on the middle of next week. But, we got some stuff going on. Look for us to be either streaming or something like that. We could be doing something like that this weekend. And don't forget to join the conversation. Tell us who you like, who your bets are for this week. Do all the things that everybody's telling you to do. Wash your hands and all that kind of stuff. I hate having to say this every time, but I want you guys to be around. Let's all stay safe and try and, get through this whole thing with the COVID-19. And don't forget, guys, we have an excuse to stay in all weekend this weekend. We got 16 matches. We have no reason to leave. So just stay put, watch some Overwatch League, bet if you want to. That's what, we gave you some odds that we like. There's some other ones that are, go on the websites. Buff.bet is what we use for ours. You can't really bet on them in the United States, but there are some things going on with esports betting in the United States. Nevada's just legalized it. They don't have Overwatch League matches up yet. I already checked it out. So keep an eye out for that. You might be able to bet, in your state at some point. They just have, I think I saw they had ECL was up on there. There's a couple things on there. So if you're in other esports, you can bet on them too. And if you're new to Overwatch League and you want to learn some more and you want to learn how to bet, you have no other regular sports to bet on, check us out. Check the other podcasters and stuff out. We'll give you, good information. And everybody stay safe. We will see you Sunday night. Talk to you later.